Be you. This the G'est shit he ever did. They was doing Straight Outta Compton movie, right? So Dr. Dre, Ice Cube, all them niggas calling me. Man, we trying to get Nip to play you in Straight Outta Compton. He ain't getting back to us. All right, let me holler at the little homie. Oh, yeah. I hit him up, Nip. Let me holler at you, pull up on me. He come over to the spot. God, they want you to play me in the Straight Outta Compton movie. I'm happy as a motherfucker to tell him. He like, no disrespect, big homie, but I can't play you in the movie because then people gonna just know me for being you. I gotta be me. And that's with all due respect. I was like, damn, that was gangster as a motherfucker. I called him, I said, cuz, y'all gotta go find somebody else, cuz.
But she looked good, huh?
Man, tell her again. Tell her again.
Right? No, it's your turn. You have
I've been
to
telling her all week. She been killing it. She been making me look better, you know? For sure.
Okay, Batman or Superman?
Batman.
Batman?
Okay.
Okay.
Batman. Batman had gadgets and gear and cars and mansions. Batman was balling. Batman had, you know what I'm saying?
I feel you.
bitches.
But the new Superman supposed to be a cold motherfucker.
Nah,
man.
Superman could fly. So
Yeah,
that's
he did.
automatic. He was pop.
And
Batman,
his weakness was kryptonite.
See, I can't. How we gonna?
You right, girl.
What that sound like?
You right, girl. We can't
we
fuck
go.
with Superman. That's
Superman.
ain't fucking with you, so. We all chilling.
Right.
We on the West Coast. Tupac brought Biggie with him. We rocking. We let Cub get down with us. We go in the back, smoke, chill, hang out. It's beautiful.
When did it go sideways?
Once Pac got shot. When he got shot, he felt like they did it, but
And this was when he got shot in New York.
yeah.
Before he got shot in Vegas.
There you go right there.
Yeah.
And now,
So he felt like someone from the West Coast was involved.
no.
Or from the
like-
East Coast, rather.
yes.
Excuse me.
Yes. And later information came out that the people that he thought did it had nothing to do with it.
So by him accusing people of it, it kind of set things off.
And then by him being bailed out by Death Row Records, and Death Row Records adding more gasoline to the fire, and him being a part of the most gangsterous label in the world that his opposition didn't want no issues with.
Right.
It only egged it on as opposed to, let's find a resolution. No, let's keep making it more of a problem. So normally I got 2 security with me that fly on a private plane with us. Suge got his homies, Pac got his security. We get to the private plane, nigga Suge like, they can't go.
Your security.
They can't go. Security like, all right, well, come on with us, dog. I'm like, nah, I'm gonna stay down. I'm ride with them. Like, this either the moment you niggas gonna kill me, like, we gonna get some clarity in this air. We got a 5.5 hour flight. I ain't got no security. You niggas ain't feeling me right now. So I sit down, and I'm like, they still don't say nothing to me. Now we finna take off. I'm like, all right, I see what's finna happen. I've been around these, I know how they get down. I grab me a knife and a fork, get my blanket, 5.5 hours like this. Sit in the back of the plane, all the way in the back. I'm the last seat. So somebody gonna get killed. If I'm gonna get killed, somebody dying with me.
The footage doesn't start with chaos. It starts quietly. A man appears at the edge of an alley, moving carefully, almost cautiously. No shouting, no panic, just measured steps. Seconds later, everything changes. Shots ring out. Nipsey drops, people scatter. But what happens next is what made Blacc Sam finally speak out. Because this wasn't random, and it wasn't emotional. And once you understand how this moment connects to everything that came before it, the official story starts falling apart. Blacc Sam recently released new CCTV footage taken from a nearby business overlooking the Marathon clothing store. It captures the final moments of Nipsey's life from an angle most people had never seen. The shooter approaches quietly, opens fire, then does something that still doesn't make sense to anyone watching closely. He pauses. He comes back. He fires again. Then he kicks Nipsey before walking away. No rush, no panic, no fear of retaliation. Just enough time to make a statement. And when he leaves, he doesn't run blindly into the street. He goes back through the alley and escapes in a car driven by a waiting woman. That detail matters, because this wasn't someone acting on impulse. This was someone who knew exactly how much time he had. But the most disturbing part of this footage isn't what you see on camera. It's what you don't see. If you know anything about how Nipsey moved, you know security was never optional. This wasn't a regular clothing store with a regular owner. This was a hub, a symbol, a place tied to respect, influence, and serious money. And in environments like that, protocol isn't flexible. Blacc Sam explained it clearly. When they pulled up anywhere, there were always people posted. Hoodies on, eyes open. Protection visible, but quiet. Doorways covered. Perimeters watched. That wasn't paranoia. That was discipline. Except on this day, the one day it mattered most. Nobody was in position. Nobody at the doorway. Nobody armed. Nobody watching the alley. And Sam wasn't there. You can hear the frustration in his voice when he talks about it. He keeps asking the same question. Not because he doesn't know the answer, but because he wishes it wasn't true. Why wasn't protocol followed? Why did it fall apart on a busy Sunday when Nipsey was outside greeting people? The best explanation anyone can offer is that they were trying to move differently, more legit, more customer-focused, helping people inside the store, acting like a normal business. And that moment of comfort created an opening, because the person who noticed that weakness first wasn't security. It was the shooter. Before the red shirt ever appears, Eric Holder walks up once already. No shirt, casual, calm. He speaks briefly, then leaves. At the time, it didn't look strange, but looking back, it changes everything. That first walk-up wasn't a conversation. It was a check. He was scanning doorways, watching body language, noticing who was armed and who wasn't, confirming whether anyone would respond if something popped off. And when he realized the usual protection wasn't there, he didn't react emotionally. He left. And when he came back wearing a message. The red shirt wasn't random. In certain neighborhoods, that color doesn't just stand out. It redirects blame. It sends investigators, witnesses, and the public down the wrong path before questions even start. In Crip territory, red immediately suggests gang retaliation. It creates noise, confusion, misdirection. Instead of people asking who planned this, they start asking which side did it. Blacc Sam called it exactly what it was: a throw-off. This wasn't just violence, it was psychological warfare. Whoever thought of that understood street politics well enough to know how narratives form within minutes. And that alone destroys the idea that this was a heat-of-the-moment act. But here's where the story really gets twisted, because for years, the public was told that Nipsey somehow provoked this, that a heated argument broke out, that disrespect was exchanged, that Nipsey called Eric Holder something that crossed an unforgivable line. That story has been repeated so often that most people stopped questioning it, except the one person who was actually there. Herman Cowboy Douglas was standing next to Nipsey the entire time, not part of the conversation for part of it. All of it. And according to him, the version pushed by the media never happened. There was no long argument, no yelling, no threats. Nipsey was doing what he always did, taking pictures, signing autographs, showing love. When Holder approached, it was brief. Seconds, not minutes. Cowboy explains it plainly. This wasn't enemies confronting each other. This was old associates crossing paths. The kind of interaction that happens all the time in the neighborhood. Nipsey didn't accuse him of anything. He didn't embarrass him. He didn't raise his voice. What he did was quietly pull him aside and give him a heads up. There was paperwork floating around, rumors, talk that could put Holder in danger if it wasn't addressed. Nipsey was looking out, not calling him out. That's what older cats do when they're trying to keep younger ones from crashing out. And the word snitch never came out of Nipsey's mouth, not once. That part didn't just come from Cowboy. It was backed up by the one witness nobody expected. Eric Holder's own companion later confirmed that Holder was the one bringing up accusations. He was the one acting paranoid, asking questions, pressing the issue. Nipsey stayed calm, brushed it off, and made it clear he wasn't on that type of time. There was no tension, no confrontation. Cowboy said if things had even started to heat up, he would have stepped in immediately. That's his job. But instead, they shook hands. Holder's girl even took a picture with Nipsey afterward. That alone tells you everything you need to know about the tone of that interaction. So, if Nipsey didn't disrespect him, if the conversation was brief and peaceful, and if the attack showed planning, patience, and misdirection, then this wasn't personal rage. It was something else. And this is where the story gets uncomfortable, because there were long-standing tensions behind the scenes that most people don't like talking about. Not surface-level disagreements, not social media drama. Real tension, business disputes, power struggles, questions about control, influence, and money. And none of this came out of nowhere. It had been building quietly for years, mostly behind closed doors, far away from cameras and headlines. Nipsey wasn't just an artist making music. He was an independent owner with vision. He owned property. He controlled his brand. He invested directly into his neighborhood instead of just talking about it. And that level of independence changes how people look at you, especially in environments where control usually flows upward, not outward. When someone stops asking for permission, stops cutting certain people in, and starts moving on their own terms, it naturally creates friction. Nipsey wanted ownership, not just profit, long-term power, not short-term checks. And while fans celebrated that, not everyone behind the scenes felt the same way. There were disagreements about deals, about who really had leverage, about who needed to be consulted before major decisions were made. And when Nipsey began collaborating with high-profile artists and bringing bigger projects into the area, those tensions intensified. These weren't just music collaborations. These were political moves that affected territory, visibility, and influence. People close to the situation have suggested that the security failure on the day of the shooting wasn't accidental. That information about Blacc Sam's absence and the relaxed protocol may have traveled faster than it should have. That the breakdown happened too cleanly, too conveniently, to simply be brushed off as bad luck. That's not a conclusion, but it is a question. Because vulnerabilities like that don't usually appear out of nowhere, especially not around someone as calculated and protected as Nipsey had been for years. Systems don't fail all at once unless pressure is applied somewhere. And what followed only made things darker. After Nipsey's passing, the Marathon store closed. Then more businesses shut down. Jobs disappeared. Momentum vanished. A community ecosystem that had been built brick by brick collapsed almost overnight. Not slowly, not gradually, fast, and almost immediately, the narrative locked in. The story became simple, emotional, easy to digest, a disrespectful argument. A man snapping. Case closed. No deeper questions, no uncomfortable angles, no examination of who benefited once everything stopped. Meanwhile, Eric Holder received a sentence so long it effectively guaranteed silence. No interviews, no detailed explanations, no incentive to ever tell a deeper story, even if one existed. Whatever he knows, he'll likely take with him. At the same time, Blacc Sam began distancing himself from people he once trusted. Projects were denied, access was restricted. Nipsey's name and likeness were protected carefully, and slowly it became clear that Sam believed not everyone around his brother had clean hands. The most chilling part isn't what we know. It's how quickly questions stop being asked, because once a narrative takes hold, truth becomes inconvenient. And inconvenient truths don't trend. They don't go viral, they don't make people comfortable. But this footage, these testimonies, and these unanswered questions all seem to point in the same direction. And that direction is far more complicated than the story most people were told. Nipsey didn't die because of reckless words. He didn't provoke his own ending. His final interaction was one of respect, guidance, and restraint. And sometimes, that's exactly what makes a person dangerous to the wrong people. Some stories aren't buried because they're false. They're buried because pulling them apart would expose too much. And this one still isn't finished.